about, from Emily Dickinson.
Oh yeah. Well, we can talk about that.
Hello, welcome to the After Show with the Lion Go Show, and we have Atheist Coffee, Eric Reagan, and Cleveland Jones on tonight. And what would you like to speak about, Cleveland?
Like I said, it's your show. So,
Well, you were saying about prayer.
oh yeah,
We
about
mentioned
prayer.
prayer
We were talking
earlier.
about
Well, I mean, I missed
prayer.
it. I was in dinner, but what I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the last
Did
show, y'all had started talking about prayer, and
did
I
did you
wanted
have
to
a
get
point
in
you
on
wanted to
that.
make there? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And basically, I put it like this: what the purpose of prayer? Um, I'll start physical, and I'll go back to, and I'll get to spiritual. Prayer can be done multiple ways. Um, like somebody brought up meditation. Somebody brought up meditation. Um, like I said, good health benefits. Being able to control your heart rate and stuff like that. Um, Great for stress relief. Lower the heart rate, bring down the stress levels. That's good on the physical level, stuff like that. You have you have the standard church prayer. You go to church, that type of thing.
Hmm.
Stand up, sit down, all the all basically that type of stuff. But what I really want to get into was the thing about the spiritual aspect of prayer. Oh, and what is its purpose on a Christian worldview? On a Christian worldview, basically, is prayer is simply put a way for you to talk to God, pretty much. A way for you to talk to God.
Ironically, Cleveland, you know what was on yesterday? I think the After Show, or was it the main show? We talked about this, similar to the prayer thing. Will God
Okay.
always answer back, though? Is the first question. My question would be.
Well, that's the thing. You're told in Christianity. You're told that God may give you a yes answer, a no answer, or no answer, and you get. We're talking answers. I mean, people always talk about the nice little things they get, but arms never grow back. I mean, it's very, I don't know. You don't get specifics, and when you're talking about prayer, every denomination and every religion prays to different gods all the time and gets this
True.
the same
True.
experience.
But yeah,
True.
Cleveland, what would you say? Would God answer? Like, would he, if you ask him a question, would he answer it if you prayed to him?
Here's what I look at. Jesus. Well, I'll take it back to Jesus for example, so I can bring my point. Jesus also if you look at it multiple times when Jesus prayed, he always says, "Well, let your will be done." Um, my purpose in prayer is not so that I can, God's not a genie. He doesn't grant my every
No.
single
But
wish.
I'm not saying that. But I'm saying like,
You do realize the Bible says that pray and anything you ask, believing you will receive, and that command that is only prefaced in the book of James. It says, "If
Let me,
you ask and you receive not, you ask amiss because you have asked to consume it upon your lust." The
and
New Testament aspect of prayer, and, is that if you pray and it's God's will, He'll give it to you.
what about the Old Testament?
Oh, the Old Testament's kind of whacked out where that's concerned.
Oh well, always thought when you say prayer, it's like kind of like if if God answered anything like you asked him, like kind of like ban prayer during tests so they won't cheat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, in the Old Testament, you had to like kill an animal if you wanted to ask God for something, so it's all fucked up.
Oh,
But in the New Testament, when Jesus was talking, he says, anything you ask in my name of the Father, you will receive. And like I said, there's only one preface in the New Testament to that, one qualifier.
all right. So, like I was saying, guys, listen, listen, listen. Prayer, God is not like a genie. He doesn't just grant anything that I want done.
He
well, we're not.
Let me fi-
Well,
he just gave you scripture that said
let me finish. How about y'all let me finish? Let me finish,
go
and then
ahead,
you
go
can.
ahead, go ahead,
Okay, y'all love talking. Let me talk.
go ahead.
Goodness. Okay, here we go. So basically, like you said, even back in James, I think he quoted James. It's all based on accordance to. If I ask God, it is all based on what is God's will. And simply put, my self gratification or anybody else's self gratification. It's basically for me to come into understanding and better edification or learning about God, come into a better relationship with Him. It has nothing to do about what I want.
Yeah,
So
that was what I said about the preface there in James, that if you ask to consume it upon your lust, you're asking this.
true.
Wait. Someone's
That's why
asking. Sorry, Cleveland.
I agree with you on that.
No, let Cleveland finish his point.
But yeah, I agree with you on that. Like I said, when I pray or anybody when you pray, it's not about what I want. Like you said, it's not about my personal lust. You cut me out the situation.
What
It's
I would
just
ask is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, wait. I was gonna read a question from one of the guests. One of the what?
yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and read the question out.
It says, if you pray and it's God's will, it will be done. So wouldn't it be done already without the prayer if it was God's will?
I would say yeah. I would say yeah. Like you don't pray. Yeah, I would agree with you. I
Then
would agree
again,
with
not especially, because my problem when I was a Christian, I put those commandments to a test, and like you say, it's not about self gratification. It's not like I want $1 million. I want, to pass a test. I want this or I want that. But you see, there's specific commandments that God gives you in the New Testament in regards to how a Christian should live. And if you find that you, say for instance, whosoever looketh upon a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery already with her in his heart. And then Jesus goes on to say to the woman caught in adultery, go and sin no more. In the same passage in the Sermon on the Mount, in the beginning of Matthew, after he says the thing about lust, he says, be ye also perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. We understand it doesn't mean that you can be perfect, but specifically in these commandments, it's like he gives us these commandments to follow them. So if you find that you put all of your effort into it, you've done everything you can, you've averted your eyes, you've done everything you possibly can do, but you find your biology needs a little extra help. And so you pray to God and you say, God, I know it's your will. You've commanded it that I shouldn't look with lust. I want you to take these thoughts out of my heart. And he doesn't. See, he said, whatever you ask, he will give you, as long as it's his will. And you're praying for something that's his specific command for your life, and you don't receive it. That was one of my big problems with the whole idea of prayer.
Was that a question, or did you have something else?
It was kind of a challenge to the idea of prayer.
Oh, okay. Well, I got an answer for you.
Go ahead.
Got you an answer, sir. Fresh hot off the skillet. All right, here we go. So, yeah, you're right. Is it when you pray according to God's will? Basically, and I put it simple. I put it very simple. I'm trying to compress it. God's will, simply put, is this right here. Simply put, God just wants people to come back into relationship with Him. He wants the lost to come back to Him. That's His will, pretty much. Now, how that gets accomplished, that's a whole nother story. Second thing, Jesus commandments. Basically, Jesus was on the Sermon on the Mount. Basically, Jesus was breaking down the fact of the things of the new covenant. That sin is no longer an external thing. Sin starts from the inside and it goes out. That's basically the Sermon on the Mount. It starts from the inside and it goes out, or anything related to God. It's all internal. It's personal. It's a personal thing. Like when he said when Jesus talked about prayer, that you don't pray all out in public so everyone can see you. Like, oh, he prayed so well because you got your reward from man. You didn't get your reward from God, because everything is personal. Everything is internal. So he was on that he was stating the laws, I would say not the laws, but what's under the new covenant. Secondly, the only two commandments of the new covenant brought by Jesus was, number one, love God with all your mind, body, and soul. Two, love neighbors as God loves you. Love your neighbors as God loves you. That's only two. There's only two that you have in the new covenant.
No,
Now,
I'm gonna no. I'm gonna have to stop you right there because Matthew 5:18.
hold on.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So he didn't come to, like, bring a new covenant.
You sure about that?
It says it right here.
You sure? Okay.
I'm
I'll show you.
I'm
I'll show you.
reading
Okay.
right from the Bible.
Let me give me a second. I'll show you. I don't even have my Bible. I just got this new phone, man. By the way, buy the HTC One, best phone you ever have in your life.
Hey, no
Very nice.
Hey, no promoting advertisements.
I don't think he's making money off it, Stride.
How do you know?
It's really hard to read with that echo too, and
What echo?
What is it? Am I echoing?
Actually, I don't hear the echo anymore.
Yeah, I don't hear it either.
yeah, I hear it.
Do you have the Lion Ghost Show audio on in the background?
No,
Like from
No,
Bond
no,
Live?
I'm on my headset, so no worry.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah. Yeah. Let me get the word pulled up. All right. Now, what was that? What was that verse you had gave, man?
uh, Matthew 5:18 and 19.
5, 18, 19. Hey, how long is the after show?
It could be an hour at most.
As long as we want it to be, really.
Well,
You
as long as I could broadcast.
said Matthew. Okay, give it to me one more time. 18.
And 19.
Matthew. Matthew chapter what?
Matthew chapter 5:18 and 19.
18 and 19. All right. Let's see.
I think I have this fixed now, so.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I got this, man. Trivialize even God. Okay. All right. So here we go. Yeah. All right. So this goes along. This goes along where Jesus said, "I didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it." That's what it said. If you look at 17, go back and look at 17. It talks about that. You're right. Jesus didn't come to abolish the law. He didn't come to destroy it. He had to fulfill it because no one else could. Okay, and because he fulfilled it, he was able to bring in the new covenant,
But
which was
Fulfill what? What's it?
the law. The law was basically the
Well,
well,
it's a picture of
well,
the promise to come. It was the promise made to Eve that she would bruise the head of the serpent, and that the promise to Abraham, and the promise to the Jews that the Messiah would come, and then he's the fulfillment of the prophecies of the law, of the whole picture of the Old Testament, the sacrifices and everything. He came and he fulfilled it. But what he was talking about specifically in Matthew chapter 5 was that he wasn't come to abolish the law. Remember, he was talking to a Jewish audience, and he
right.
was telling them, I'm not knocking down the law. He said, when asked, what is the greatest commandment? He said, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love thy neighbor as thyself. He was summing up the law. What he said was he didn't come to abolish the law. He said, as a matter of fact, let me sum it up in an easy to understand manner. And then he went on to say those things.
All right, cool. So, hold on a second. All right. Anyway, so yeah, what were we? Let me see. Yeah. So okay. Here's my question. Here's my question to the room.
You mean the panel?
What?
Yeah.
Here's my question to the room. What was the purpose of the Ten Commandments? What was the purpose?
Well, being an atheist, I don't believe there was a person called Moses. This was oral tradition written down by Jewish historians in the Babylonian captivity. I mean, historically, these things were written down, hundreds, centuries after they were purported to have happened, at least. Where, if you want to go biblically, the purpose of the Ten Commandments was to set out the basis of the moral law for the Hebrews after they left Egypt.
Kinda. But yeah, you're right. But kinda. I mean, you missing
Well,
out.
it was their basis. I mean, after that, Moses brought in civil law, and there were over 600 specific civil laws laid out in Leviticus and other books of the Bible.
Right, Leviticus and Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah. Anyway, hold on, man. Okay, so I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get back on topic. Yeah, purpose of the Ten Commandments. Well, you're right. It was the first written law to the Hebrew people. I wouldn't say they were Jews, but they were Hebrew people.
Yeah.
But the purpose of God bringing in the law was so people could identify what sin was. No one knew what sin was. Like everyone in here.
What? Yes.
Wait. That makes no sense because you're saying
you're proposing that they got all the way to Mount Sinai without knowing that murdering people and stealing their shit was wrong.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish.
I thought
they didn't know it was a sin. It's a difference between knowing it is wrong.
I reject the idea of sin outright.
Wait. Can I ask a question?
Okay.
But Cleveland, isn't sin a universal thing?
Is sin a universal thing? Sin is basically is a breaching of God's law.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying this. Pretty much, you're saying the Jews knew what sin was, but if sin is external to just the Jews, it means why were all these other people left out of the loop?
Well, wait.
I didn't say that.
Well, that wasn't the question.
I didn't say that.
Let him clarify. Cleveland, are you like a creationist, or do you accept evolution, or?
Like I said, man, I'm not real well versed on creationism as for evolution. Like I said, I'm still studying that, so I'm not really.
Well, let me clarify. Do you believe that the Earth is 6 to 10,000 years old, or do you accept the fact that it is 4.6 billion years old?
Like I said, man, once again, I'm not well versed in it, so I can't speak on it. If I was, I would. Yeah, I'll be more. I would tell you a little bit more about it, but I'm not.
Well, just ask him if he believes that all humans came from two people, Adam and Eve.
What does this have to do with the question?
Here.
What's this honestly?
Well, it's to do with how you view the Bible, really, I guess.
Yeah,
that's
but what I was getting at.
Irrelevant.
Literally, or do I view it literally or symbolically?
Well, that's the thing, because if you believe that Moses really came down from Mount Sinai with tablets, or if there really was a global flood, if there really was an Adam and Eve, these kind of things kind of speak to your theology, and it gives us a better idea of exactly where to talk about it.
I was getting to that point, but I guess I was taking it a long way around, so. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I would say yes. I would say I do believe the accounts of the Bible. Now, as for the what?
Do you believe all humans came from Adam and Eve? They were all descended from those two people.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, but that's not really what the point was. The thing was, you're saying no one knew what sin was until God gave the Jews the Ten Commandments, right?
Let me finish. Let me finish what I was saying, because you cut me off.
Oh, I didn't know you were finished.
No, because you guys just wait, hold a second. Let me finish.
You kind of have to really, really hammer in here with your comments, because we kind of get keyed up a little bit. So sorry.
Yeah, well, key down, simmer down, simmer down. Simmer down. All right, here we go. So, like I said, the Hebrew people, they did not know that they were breaking God's law, even though they knew, they had a feeling that something, that certain things were wrong. Like you right now know certain things are right and wrong because it's internally ingrained in you. But they didn't know that,
Oh.
hey, this is what, God commands specifically. Like, for
I don't know,
example, you
but
don't know that you're breaking a law until somebody hands you, say, hey, this is the law that you're breaking. Oh, okay, I broke
well,
the law.
yeah, I mean, you're talking about the difference. We talked about this yesterday on the show, the difference between sin as in a transgression against a god, or secular morality as in the good of people and the well-being of other people. And the Bible's not specifically concerned with, in the law, like you're right, not specifically concerned with the well-being of others, is specifically concerned with whether God is happy with our actions or not. And that's the idea of sin. I mean, I think that's a horrible basis for morality, and it has been historically. But I
Well,
mean,
you don't think it's wrong to kill, lie, steal,
Well, no.
murder?
Well, no.
well,
Well.
no.
Go ahead.
The thing is about that, when you look at say, for instance, the basis of biblical morality based on the idea of sin. Say, take the Ten Commandments. What you've got, he says a lot about don't take the Lord's name in vain. He says don't covet your neighbor's ox, his ass, his wife, that kind of thing. It says a lot of things, but one thing it never does say is thou shalt not rape. I mean, that's the thing about sin, is it comes from the idea that people have that God will be displeased by these actions, and our actions should always please God. It doesn't have the well-being of others as a primary focus. So that's why rape is not a specific, and slavery is not a specific commandment to not do these things. It's never said don't take other people as slaves. As a matter of fact, it says the slaves that you do take, don't just make sure there aren't Israelites. And it never says don't rape. It just says, well, if you do, if she's a married woman, you got to die. But if she's not a married woman, you just have to pay a fine, and you get to be her husband. But that's the thing about the idea of sin.
Okay,
It's an
okay, check this out.
inferior idea.
Okay, check this out, man. You're taking laws from the book of Leviticus. Those laws are not even for us. Those laws were for the Hebrew tribe of Levi. It wasn't even for us. That's not even under our covenant. So what are you talking about?
Well, no, we all Christians always use parts of it.
Well,
You started it by talking about the Ten Commandments as if they
okay.
have something to do with us.
Okay, well, the Ten Commandments have nothing to do about the Levitical laws, do they?
Well, yes, they were entrusted to the Hebrews, and the tribe of Levi was the one that kept the laws. The Ten Commandments were kept in the Ark of the Covenant that the tribe of Levi paraded around there specifically had to do with that.
Okay, okay. Listen. Okay, the Ten Commandments. Once again, is a way for you to identify what is sin. Okay, it has nothing to do about the Levitical laws. Okay, it has nothing to do about it at all.
I don't think he's referring to that. I think he's like, thou shalt not steal and stuff like that. Those Ten Commandments. Not
Yeah, that's on
what?
So do those apply to us or no?
the Ten Commandments. Basically, the Ten Commandments is a way so you know. Okay, well, I'm breaking God's law. Is a way you can say, well, yeah, I am pretty, you know,
Well, then are you saying they do apply to us?
the Ten Commandments. Yes,
The Ten Commandments. So you don't work on Saturday.
the Sabbath. Okay, so here's the Sabbath.
The Sabbath.
Today
Yeah,
is
the
a
Sabbath.
Sabbath, actually. No, wait, no.
No,
Well,
no.
actually,
Yesterday is
Friday,
yesterday is the
Friday is
Sabbath.
the
Yes.
Sabbath for the Jews. Okay, so anyway, all right, here we go. So the Sabbath.
Wait for
What the what?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the Sabbath. Basically, Christ became the new Sabbath. He became the day of rest. He became the rest.
Well, the Bible
So
doesn't say
there's
that.
no more Sabbath. Well,
The Bible
uh,
doesn't
I'll,
say that.
I'll I'll back it up scripturally. Let me stop talking because I like talking. I get to talking. And I understand you guys need to hear it from the scripture. Give me a second. But yeah, Christ became the Sabbath. He became the day of rest. So anyway, let me
What?
look this up real quick.
Okay.
'Cause like I said, I don't have it on my. right. So anyway, yeah.
What are we waiting on?
Cleveland's doing something.
Yeah. Okay. So I got. Give me a second. I'm reading up real quick. But anyway, unless y'all want me to go down this road, I mean, I can. I got the verses here, but.
Well, no, the thing
y'all
is, the Bible doesn't say Jesus became the Sabbath.
No, neither does the Bible.
He
Has the
rose
word
up on
theology
Sunday,
in it.
didn't he?
Yes, he rose up after the Sabbath. Yes, but it doesn't say he became the Sabbath. It doesn't say he took the day of rest and made it a spiritual thing. The Bible doesn't say that.
Well, the Bible neither says the word theology or it never says the word Trinity, but we still don't disagree on that.
It
Though.
doesn't even imply. It doesn't even imply it. Really, it doesn't.
Okay.
Well,
Let's look at second.
Well, it's all what certain sects of Christianity say about, some sects don't believe in the Trinity, some do. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
The Jews don't believe in the Trinity at all. Well, that's a given, but yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, the Jews. If you look in, the Trinity is actually in the Old Testament.
You're gonna mention where he says we make them in our image, right?
No. Let me talk. See,
okay, go ahead.
dude, if you stop talking,
go ahead. Just go.
Hey
go
man,
ahead.
you can't say we cut you off. We had dead air here for like a minute just to let you talk. So don't just jump right in with your stuff.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, guys, let me talk.
Correct me.
All right, so yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the different instances where it talks about the angel of the Lord and how the angel of the Lord was referred to as God, and the Spirit of the Lord, and the Spirit of the Lord is referred to as God or the Lord. And as we can't, with this that, I mean, with this, well,
that's a mistranslation. Now, that's actually a mistranslation.
Because show me how. I would like to learn. Go.
You're actually talking about where it talks about Elohim. There are no angels in the Old Testament. Every time it says Elohim, it's actually talking about the gods or the pantheon. I'm telling you, in the old, you're talking like the Bible was written in English. It's not. I'm telling you what it says in the actual first and second temple Hebrew. The word Elohim, where the word angel comes from, the mistranslation, is not angels. It's gods, as in the old Canaanite and Ugarit pantheos of gods. It's not just one god.
Do you have anything I'm talking? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about now?
Yes. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? Have you done your research on what I'm talking about?
Wait. No, what version of the Bible is that from? I'm just curious, because it sounds like a Christianized version of the Old Testament. No offense. It does.
The angel of the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord.
Yeah,
and
no, but I'm saying what edition?
Any version. You can look up any version. Just the Old Testament.
I have a Torah, and it does not mention angels.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
I mean, I'm just saying. It sounds Christianized version of the Old Testament.
Let's look at it, man. Give me a second.
I don't know. I think sometimes I like debating theism on its own terms, but sometimes it just becomes a bottomless pit of, these kind of, it's like being a Christian and debating with a Christian that has a different idea on a doctrine in theology. These debates never end because there's no fundamental, foundational, concrete truth you can point to say, okay, we'll build off of this. This we can agree on, this right here, and so we can reference this like in nature when you're studying out anything. You can say, if you're studying a new aspect of biology or whatever, you can say, well, we know these things, therefore let's look at this thing. I mean, there are so many things about the Bible that we can say, especially where the literal interpretation is concerned, isn't true, and we've mentioned these things like the Tower of Babel. That obviously didn't happen. The talking donkey, Balaam's ass. I mean, come on, God loosed its tongue and it talked because its biology was holding it back, but it has thought process just like regular people. Seriously, it's a myth. The literal interpretation of the Bible just chokes on myth.
And I think something that exacerbates that problem is that you have the Bible, which is really a collection of 44 different books written by dozens of authors, and so to like try to ever pin down the meaning of the word here,
and also,
then try to make it consistent throughout the Bible. You're actually talking about two different authors, two completely different senses in which that author might have meant that word. You
end up overlaying your dispensational theology to interpret it and to make it apply to you and your beliefs.
Also, not to mention, which Bible do you mean? Because like the Catholic Bible, I think has like 6 more books. Every different sub-denomination of Christianity have a different Bible. I mean, the Jews don't even have the New Testament, so it's not even the which is it?
Well, you have to choose one, and then you have to say why you choose one. And really, what it comes down to is, like I mentioned earlier, it's a preference. You sign on the dotted line. Somebody tells you God loves you, Jesus died for you, and you can go to heaven forever. And that sounds great. I can sign on to that. That's non-threatening and everything. And so you do. And but then you start learning other things, and you start building this belief system up. And you build this whole big theological construct that you didn't sign on to in the beginning, but you're defending now because you have to believe it because you signed on to it.
All right.
Just a note. Maybe I can go for 30 more minutes. It's gonna be a short after show.
Okay.
I would ask. I don't know if the conversation's going anywhere right now, but I never understood. If anybody could explain to me the commandment about not making a graven image on anything in heaven or earth.
Well, I mean, the 10 Commandments there, it seems pretty clear that they weren't allowed to carve out or make any image of any animal or any god or angel or anything, because the idea was that they would start worshiping it, as Moses, when he came down the mount, found them worshiping a golden calf. I think that was...
So how does that apply to today, though, I'm asking?
Very simple. Very simple.
And just to clarify, you said we're still under that commandment?
Well, yeah,
that applies to us?
The literal interpretation is don't make idols and don't bow down to a rock hewn out to look like an elephant. But the spiritual interpretation that theists will give you is that we make idols out of all kinds of things, the television and movie stars and music and clothing.
And it says right here, you shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above or that is in the earth beneath or that is water under the earth. How does that apply to us today, Cleveland?
Well, he basically gave you the answer, man. We make gods out of anything, really. We start worshiping.
That sentence comes afterwards. I mean, you could well say that's an additional separate kind of thing.
Is that not true? Is that?
I
would say no. Do you not see the reason behind it?
Because the thing is though, the properties of what you define as a god, nothing can have that properties except for what you define as God. So technically, I don't get how you could, if that's what you define God as everywhere.
I'm saying it doesn't explicitly link those in my mind.
Okay.
Unless I'm just wrong here. Those are two separate sentences. It sounds like you're saying. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me break it down for you, man. I'm gonna put it as simple as possible because I like things to be simple. Okay. Basically, any kind of graven image or anything that is basically anything that distracts you from God, pretty much. Anything that you hold above or higher than God. And it doesn't have to have all the properties of God. It doesn't have to be omnipotent, omnipresent.
So like TV.
So why did God give us eyes?
Entertainment.
That's what's going to happen.
Well, hold on. What about like YouTube, entertainment, the news, sports?
Yeah, but you see, the Bible doesn't really say that. It doesn't ever say that specifically. We if theologians infer it, but it doesn't say that.
Yeah, but even if it does, even if that is what it meant, are you saying that every image that takes your attention away from God is
that was the kind of theology I was involved in. I mean, you would feel bad about hobbies you had, about shooting a bow and arrow or watching a TV show. You'd feel bad because I'm making an idol out of this, and I should be praying or reading my Bible.
All right, check it. All right, here we go. All right, so I mean, yeah, you're right, man. I mean, this is the key phrase. The things that you hold above God, the things that you just like. Can everyone agree there's some things you can get obsessed with? There are things that you can get obsessed
Of course.
with.
Yeah, but that's the justification for the law. The law is simply do not make a graven image. Then it goes on to expound on why not to, because it could lead to et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or for this and such reason. But the law, as stated, is do not make that graven image. So is it or is it not a sin to draw, or make images?
No, man. No.
No?
It's not a sin to make images.
Graven images. Well, that's what it
bro.
says. It does it not.
Okay, so if I, bro,
explain it because I read it word for word.
Did you? Okay, read the next sentence so it can expound upon it.
I just said that. Well, it's irrelevant. That's the reason for the law. No. I'm saying that's no. Okay, it's relevant in explaining why there's that law. But what I'm saying is that is the law. The first sentence is the actual law. Then the next sentences are saying why that law is. That's all well and good. But I'm saying, is that not the law to not make graven images? So you commit a sin when you make a graven image?
Okay, man. All right. Well, look, man. You know the reason behind it. I'm not even because I'm not even get into that with you because you.
No, my question is yes or no. Is it or is it not a sin to make a graven image?
It's not a sin for you to draw. If that's your question, it's not a sin for you to draw.
To make a graven image. What if to make it? So it's not a sin to make it a graven image.
If I go there and write, it's not a sin. No.
So aren't you essentially sitting here telling me that commandment is false?
You know what I mean? You see what I mean? He takes one part, and then I'm not gonna ignore all the rest of that down there. I'm gonna ignore the rest of that, and then.
No, I'm taking all that into account. I'm taking all that into account.
Okay, I'm listening. If you take that into account, then you know what I'm talking about, man. Don't play stupid with me, man. For real, don't play stupid. You know what it is.
No, I mean, come on. What he's saying is, and I went through this quite a lot in the decades that I was a fundamentalist Christian. I mean, the commandment really says you don't make statues. You don't make a clay figurine of an angel or God or a whale or whatever. You don't do it. It's a commandment. It says it very, very clearly. But what we came to, believe in our theology was that was for the Jews, perhaps for their religious system, and it wasn't for us, because obviously, just look around, you've got figures of animals, especially if you have kids, you got them all over the damn place. So obviously it's not for us. I mean, but that's what it says. And if you want to say it's for us, then fine. If you want to say it's not for us, then fine. But you can't say it doesn't mean it.
Bro, look, I'm telling you what it means. You can nitpick it all you want. I'm just letting you know. That's on
I'm
you.
not nitpicking it. I have a degree in theology, my friend. I was a Baptist preacher, for crying out loud. This was my life. I'm not fucking with you here.
Good for you. All I'm saying is, man, you being a Baptist preacher, you should know that. Hey, that's what it means. It doesn't mean, well, if I draw something, if I make a water bottle here,
that's
then
what Whit's saying, though.
I believe what the Bible says. If the Bible said it, I believed it. Literally, it didn't matter what. I mean, if you want to preface it and make excuses, that's fine. But
I'm not making excuses. I'm just reading.
Let me read it. Let me read it again, word for word for you, and I'll read it all.
Let's go down.
Okay?
Read the full deal for that commandment.
You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down. That period. Okay, that's the first sentence. Do not make an image. Second sentence. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, bestowing steadfast love to thousands who keep and love my commandments.
So it's saying don't make a sin.
There's almost two commandments there. One, don't make a carven image, and two, don't bow down to them. And even if you want to say that second sentence is just a kind of a further. Oh, sure, but that doesn't negate the first sentence that says, don't make a carved image. That doesn't negate it.
It sounds
what
like
you did directly was negate it.
It says don't make an image, but it's don't make a painting and don't make a painting that you will worship. I think it says.
No, it doesn't say that. It
yes,
says
it
don't
does.
make.
Yes, it does. It says.
You want me to read it again? Okay. It says don't make an image.
I think I don't know.
And then period. Don't make an image of anything in heaven, earth, or under the water. Period. That's the first sentence.
So
Second sentence.
making a dragon is okay, right?
Then it says you shall not bow down to them or serve them.
Well, God is jealous. Okay.
For God is jealous.
All
that
right,
doesn't negate the first sentence. Does it?
It didn't say it negated. It didn't negate it at all. As a matter of fact, it expounded upon the first sentence. Like if I give you a reason, wouldn't you want to know the reason? If I tell you something, wouldn't you want to know the reason for me telling you something?
So it is a sin to make a carved image.
Oh my God! All right, look, man.
It literally just said that. You're going to sit here and say on one hand, yes, it's a sin, and for these reasons. And then on the other hand, no, it's not a sin to make a carved image. Which is it?
Okay.
Give me a reason. It doesn't matter what the reason is. The reason could be whatever. But the law states, don't make a carved image.
Okay, man.
And don't bow down to it either, yeah.
It's a set of bullet point laws.
Okay. All right, man. All right. Okay.
I just don't understand it.
Contradiction. All right. Okay. Can we get to the point of the whole thing?
Point is that the Ten Commandments, even if they were given on Moses given to Moses on Mount Sinai, they wouldn't apply to us, and they are inferior to secular morality because they don't include stuff like don't rape kids.
Okay. Well, see, the Ten Commandments is not don't rape. It doesn't have. It has Ten Commandments. Okay. The Ten Commandments is pretty a widespread thing, man. Rape. What would? Oh, first of all, what would bring you to rape someone? What would bring you to rape somebody?
Apparently, the Jews did it.
Sexual lust.
Sexual lust.
And there's nothing about that in the Ten Commandments. There's covetousness. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. But that's as far as it goes.
But they say. But if you kill the woman's wife, I mean, wait.
That was Levitical law. We were trying to keep it just to
I'm talking about like when the Jews went to villages and killed all the women and children
and kept the virgins for themselves for spoils of war to rape them later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And nasty Jews. All right.
What?
What the fuck?
Even if you want to say that was just for the Jews, I still don't see how that makes it okay.
Let me finish.
No one's stopping.
Hold on. I didn't hear you start.
Oh, excuse me. Let me start. I'm getting my things mixed up. Excuse me. I apologize. All right, y'all. So let me start.
Okay.
So here's my point. And then we can explain, we can unpack it. Okay, first my point is, number one, Ten Commandments so you can identify sin. Levitical laws. Different tribes had different covenants with God. Different people had different covenants, like Abraham, Mosaic, Levitical, all those different types of covenants. And then you have the one coming through Christ. Okay, the ones that apply to us today were brought through Christ, which were only two commandments, which was to love God. What if you're a Jew? Love others. Same thing.
But didn't you say if they're the covenant of Abraham, that means they're from Abraham's line of descent or something, right? That means they're under the covenant of the Jews.
Okay. That covenant has been fulfilled through Christ. No one could keep it. No one can keep the Ten Commandments. There has not been a single person to keep the Ten Commandments. No one. Everyone has failed miserably trying to keep those Ten Commandments. No one. You show me one person that's kept
short of the glory of God. Yes, we understand this.
There you go. See, you got it. All right. So no one has kept. So what I'm saying is, if you want to take your chances and try to keep the commandments and try to keep the law, you can go ahead and try it. But nobody has kept it. No one.
But like I said before, I find that moral code quite inferior to the ones that we've developed through secular morality and humanism in our Western societies. I mean, because for instance, thou shalt not rape is part of the secular moral code.
And they were part of moral codes that came before the Mosaic laws, say like the Code of Hammurabi.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
why should I try to follow a moral code that's inferior to other ones I have access to naturally in our society?
Here's my deal, man. Everyone in this room, everyone in here, if you read the Bible, not read the Bible, you have an ingrained sense
Read
of
the
what's
Bible,
right.
not read the Bible. What
Wait,
does that mean?
what about people called psychopaths though who don't?
Well, I would say that they do, but they suppress it.
Well, you
They
can say that
suppress it.
about people.
So we can't win either way then.
Yeah.
We can read the Bible
What?
but not read the Bible, but we can read the Bible and not understand it
What?
because we suppress it? What?
No, that's not what he was saying. He was saying
I'll say 3 words and you guys build up a little thing about what I'm saying. Go ahead. I'll listen.
I haven't said anything in the last 20 minutes, so
Oh, okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
what
So,
you're talking
all right.
about.
All right. Well, here's what I'm talking about. If you guys will listen, and then you'll hear what I'm talking about. All right. Here we go. What I'm saying is everyone has an ingrained sense of what's right and what's wrong. You all know that it's wrong to kill to kill little babies. You all know it without somebody telling you to do it or without society telling you to do it. You know what's right or what's wrong.
Well, no. Now, just a minute now. Did you just say we all know it's wrong to kill little babies?
Yeah,
Do you not know it's wrong to
I
murder?
brought that up already with
Okay.
psychopaths.
Now, in the Old Testament, God commanded Israel in Canaan to kill all the little babies in those towns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
he
was,
did.
and so that was moral. That was right.
Well, I would say, like I said, he didn't murder them. I mean, he
No,
didn't
no,
tell them
no.
to
If
murder
God commanded people to do it and people followed God's command, then that was a moral command?
them. No, it was a moral command. It's just a command, man. It wasn't a moral command.
Yeah, but should they, if it wasn't moral, then should they have said, no, God, we're not going to kill babies because we know it's wrong?
Well, they did. You see, they tried to object. They said, well, what about the children? He said, they are among them. They did object to it, but like I said, that was God's will. But like I said, check this out. They didn't have to kill all of the Canaanites. God didn't say that they didn't have to kill all the
Yeah,
Canaanites. He pushed them out.
in a few cities, it was commanded that they kill every living thing, even their animals.
Yeah, but like I said, they didn't kill all of the Canaanites. Even
You
after
see,
that,
you're
even
trying to
after,
hold the Bible up as a superior moral code.
I didn't say anything about morality.
You're trying to
I haven't
say
said
that
anything about
we know that it's, you see, it's so much contradiction, and the Bible is
wait. I just want to hear him actually say it. Did you say that was neither moral or immoral for God to command that?
I didn't say it had nothing to do about morality. It just
No, but we're asking
to
you.
do with
We're
morality.
asking you. We're asking you. Was it moral for God to command that?
was it moral?
I mean, presumably everything God does is good, right?
Well, everything. Yeah, I would say that.
So that was good for God to command people to kill babies, or you said yes?
Yeah, like I said, I would say that it was good. It was good for God. It was good.
There's no arguing at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that.
Okay, well let's back it up then. Let's back it up. Okay, here's my thing. Would you or would you say would you or would you not say objective morality exists?
I would say it doesn't exist.
No, it
Okay,
doesn't
so
exist.
let me ask you this
Depending on what you mean
question.
by objective, which is a very slippery term.
Objective means something that is true or something that is true whether or not you believe to be true or false.
Isn't that like absolute morality?
Objective. If I say that is wrong, that is an object, so that would be an objective standard.
No, but you're saying
So
it's absolutely like.
yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely That's what an
Are you
objective
trying
is.
to equate morals with like an object? Like, because it sounded like that's what you were starting to try to do.
Well, objective. I'm just defining
No,
what
no,
objective.
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
what?
no.
No, what
Like
have I said for you to say no to? What have I said for you to say no to?
because it sounded like you were going to actually try to equate morality with, say, a cup or something, a table or
It's in
something like
platonic
that.
form.
Well, the thing about it is, man, is that I can't get to what I'm saying because as soon as I get And it's talking, no, wait,
Because you
no.
start going down the wrong road, and then we have to back up. So I wanted to.
Talk about morality, right? So you said, my question is, does objective morality exist or not?
I understand what the question is. We're
Okay.
trying to
Well,
pin you down on what your
okay.
definition of objective morality is.
Something is wrong or right, whether or not you believe it to be wrong or right.
So the thing is, can God command you to do something wrong, and does that make it right?
No, God
Because God
doesn't.
did it. God commanded Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. He commanded Ezekiel to eat poop cakes. He commanded the children of Israel to slay the babies of Canaan and the children and the old people, and on and on and on. He expected
Okay.
Jephthah to
Okay.
sacrifice his daughter as a burnt offering. I mean,
Okay.
morality is a
Guys,
nebulous thing in the Bible.
on
Okay.
that note, we gotta end the show.
Ah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm
Ah.
sorry. I got friends tomorrow and stuff.
Ah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I'm about to cry. I'm about to cry, man. We were just about to get into it. Oh.
Give
I
I
think we
Cleve's
can
slap in
love.
keep
your
talking,
face.
but
I
we
slap in
can
your
keep talking.
face.
well, let's
Okay.
leave them with a cliffhanger.
Closing statements
Dun,
then?
dun,
Closing
dun.
statements. Yeah, closing statements.
Closing statements. I would just reiterate what I said.
Oh, Nick's sad too.
Biblical morality is inferior to secular morality. At least secular morality is subject to rational discussion and logic and debate. Biblical morality set in stone and, well, genocide and raping children. So there.
Ray Gun.
I would just say if anybody wants to learn a little bit more about two religions that have something in common, and that came before Judaism, and that goes for everybody out there. You can look at the Enuma Elish and the Atrahasis. Go straight to the source, and you can do your comparisons that way. And maybe next week I'll have some books for you.
Stephen Christ wants you to study him.
I just answered him in the chat. I said I'll see him in hell.
Cleveland.
All right, y'all. So very nice talking to everybody in the room, man. Too bad we didn't get into the discussion, man. Just want to just end it up by saying that, hey, you know what's right and what's wrong independently of what a book or a religion tells you. It's already ingrained in your heart because God has written it there for you. So with that, much love and peace for everyone. Thank you.
What?
I would just remind everyone to read their scriptures, the Tractatus Logico Philosophicus, and the Philosophical Investigations by Ludwig Wittgenstein. How about that?
Okay, and this is Lion Ghost Show, and sorry that we had to end early because I have finals tomorrow. And
You study.
well, yeah, I studied. So good night and farewell. See you next week. Also, just to note, I should put this on YouTube a video, but if there's any topics or anybody have ideas for topics of future shows, please comment in the comment sections when this video uploads. That's if you actually watch the end of this. So yeah, thank you for watching and peace.
Peace.
See ya.